in his private life to license the word Trump on a lot of different products. How does that pertain to how he could save tariffs?
Sure. He's referring to one of a number of authorities that his officials have been looking at for some time now, right, before this decision, in anticipation of this potential outcome. There he was referring to licensing different imports to basically try and regulate what could come into the United States to, they state, encourage more domestic manufacturing. Another authority that they could look at is Section 301, which they used to also tariff China in the first term. Remember, there were tariffs in the first term, right? Not as sprawling and at the scale that we've seen in this term. And just what I also saw in that comment when we asked him about this, he was very candid on just how disappointed he would be in the justices that he helped put on the Supreme Court. It almost seemed like he would be personally insulted by this. But there was also the fact that he was just acknowledging when he talks about it won't be as clean. You know, he has used tariffs not just as an economic tool, but as almost a diplomatic sledgehammer, right? This is what he hangs over nations when they don't do what he wants. It was his threat before Greenland.
I mean, it's a carrot and a stick.
That's right. That's right. And often when he talks about different peace deals he's trying to get, tariffs are the tool that he's using, even though that's disputed just how much peace deals he has obtained. But this is extraordinary here. This decision doesn't just impact the economic agenda, but really throughout President Trump's foreign policy and domestic agenda here.
And that's really key because, Mario, this Supreme Court decision doesn't wipe out all the tariffs.
Right.
But the tariffs that I was just talking to a Republican member of Congress, because we can talk about the politics in a second. My suspicion was that there are a lot of them who are not going to be upset about this because it has created some affordability issues for them back home. But when it comes to what you were discussing, it does seem to take that ability to use tariffs not just as economic policy, but as a foreign policy lever off the table.
Yes, no, excuse me, absolutely. A couple of years ago on the campaign trail in 2024, we interviewed the president and he was outlining his vision for tariffs. He was talking about the historical context, et cetera. What was clear was, and Zolan kind of alluded to this with tariffs in Trump 1, was that this was the evolution of his Make America Great Again policy, right? He looked at the time in history, U.S. history, when we did tariff other nations as a more powerful time, right? He's saying that domestically, this helps taxpayers, this helps the U.S., this protects workers, those blue-collar workers who came out for him over a decade ago, but then also on the foreign stage as well, being able to negotiate with President Xi in China, right? Being able to hold the threat of tariffs over the head of some of the U.S.'s allies and using that as a cudgel as well. So what this robs him of, the reason I think that he was so disappointed in this is because he sees it as part and parcel to his political orthodoxy.
It's also because, you know, Donald Trump used to be a Democrat. Donald Trump thought about running as an independent. So he has sort of morphed or evolved, however you want to put it, over the years. What he has been the most consistent on in his entire life is his love of tariffs and his desire to implement tariffs. Let's just look at an example or some examples of what he has even said recently about tariffs.
Without tariffs, this country would be in such trouble right now.
We're taking in so much money with the tariffs now that it's such a pleasure.
The word tariff, it's more beautiful than love. It's more beautiful than anything. It's the most beautiful word.
To me, the most beautiful word in the dictionary is tariff, and it's my favorite word.
And we're going to go in the way, way back machine to a Larry King interview that he did in 1987. So we're talking about almost 40 years ago, talking about the concept that is effectively tariffs.
You can call it a tax, you can call it whatever you want to call it, but those countries should be paying us major billions of dollars, and you won't have any deficits whatsoever, and then we'll be able to help the poor and the sick and the homeless and the farmers and everybody else.
It's actually funny that he kind of acknowledges that it could be a tax, because that is part of what the Supreme Court was arguing, that it was because tariffs are effectively a tax. It is Congress's power to do it, and that's what a lot of lawmakers, including these pro-trade Republicans, have been arguing for some time. But no, I can't count how many times he has said the word tariff is his favorite word in the dictionary. It is such a core part of his political beliefs and what he has pushed during his presidencies. But it is something that has put him so at odds with Republicans, who are traditionally a pro-free trade party. They don't like tariffs. And you saw a little bit more of that pushback in the first term when you had people like Pat Toomey and Jeff Flake around, who are these very ardent pro-free traders.
Or Mike Pence was his vice president.
Yes, and Mike Pence, the ultimate belief in that policy. Now it's been a lot more quiet from Republicans on this point. Speaker Mike Johnson actually just put out a statement while we went on air saying that Congress and the administration will find a way forward after this disappointing, or in his view, a decision that he disagrees with. But, this is Congress. I mean, it's not going to, I think we can bet that something's not going to happen here as it regards to the president's tariff policy.
And Mike Pence, I'm told, just tweeted that this is a victory for the American people.
There you go.
Tia? I know you have a lot of important thoughts, and you guys are going to want to hear it. We're going to sneak in a quick break. Coming up, we are waiting for President Trump to make his first remarks on this massive Supreme Court ruling on his signature tariff issue. We're going to bring that to you live, of course, plus a lot more to unpack, including what about the billions of dollars that have come into the federal treasury because of these tariffs? We don't know. We'll try to figure that out after a break.
All right, so that's one pair of glasses.
Yep.
With prescription lenses, plus anti-reflective lens coating.
Oh.
Scratch-resistant coating.
Did I choose?
UV protection. Award-winning customer service.
That's me.
That's also me. Free returns, free exchanges, and free frame adjustments for life.
And how much more is that?
Oh, it's all included at Warby Parker.
So my glasses
Are still just $95.
Oh.
Surprise! I just get excited.
Aaron Burnett out front, weeknights at 7 on CNN, and watch on the CNN app.
As much as we appreciate what our mechanics can do and who they are, no one looks forward to seeing the inside of an auto shop. Because if you're here, your car is too. And that means something's wrong. And likely, it means an expensive repair bill. That is, unless you've called CarShield. When you call CarShield before your car breaks down, they have plans that cover up to 5,000 parts and systems of your car. Don't wait. Call CarShield today before it's too late.
Call 800-788-2415.
I've never seen anything I've done twice.
Okay, no CNN, no Variety. You've seen Interstellar once?
Yeah.
No way, man.
Saturday at 7 on CNN and on the CNN app.
Thank you for calling the Bombas Comfort Line. Please listen carefully as our menu options have changed. Bombas is socks, slippers, tees, and underwear. Crafted with the finest materials. Press 1 for comfort, 2 for style, 3 for great gifts. You chose comfort, softness, bit of So run in Bombas, sleep in Bombas, pet a llama in Bombas, give back in Bombas. Because with every purchase, one is donated. Bombas. Visit bombas.com and get 20% off your first order.
This is the work of a cold, calculating assassin.
In a competition like this, every chef is swinging for the fences.
This is the best lineup of bakers I have ever seen.
Series premiere of the Ultimate Baking Championship, Monday, March 9th at 9 on Food Network.
All There Is Live, now streaming at cnn.com/allthereis.
In these troubling times, the world desperately needs a hero. Unfortunately, we've got him.
What to do when country go,
Last Week Tonight with John Oliver.
All There Is with Anderson Cooper. Listen at cnn.com/allthereis.
CNN This Morning with Audie Cornish. Weekdays at 6 a.m. on CNN.
Whoa, let me back up for a minute.
So beautiful. Wow.
Oh my God.
We do this for real.
Look at this. Oh my God, look at that.
That's good, man. Whoa, let me back up for a minute.
That is so good.
We do this for real.
The Source, weeknights at 9 on CNN and watch on the CNN app.
I get to call someone I've looked up to a colleague.
We're two former White House correspondents with a tireless work ethic.
We're ready for whatever comes our way.
The Situation Room with Wolf Blitzer and Pamela Brown, weekday mornings at 10 on CNN and watch on the CNN app.
30 seconds.
Wake up.
Breaking overnight.
Catch up.
New details and more questions.
Start your mornings here.
This is a pivotal week.
CNN News Central. Weekdays at 7 a.m. on CNN and watch at 8 on the CNN app.
In St. Pete Clearwater, find just what you're looking for and more. More dollars and cents. More room and board. More fish and chips. Book now at visitspc.com.
There's no way to sugarcoat it. It sounds like a mess. Tia, I want to show our viewers an important bit of data, and that is the trade deficit for last year, 2025, the trade deficit. It was down by only 0.2 of a point. So what that means is it barely changed last year. And this was one of the main arguments that President Trump, again, has used for decades, that this is going to help with American businesses and it's going to help with the trade imbalance. So far, that has not happened.
Yeah, and it was always easier said than done to just say, you know, you put on tariffs and all of a sudden manufacturing in U.S. jobs just skyrocket, because we know these things take time. It takes time to start up the types of plants and warehouses and businesses that Donald Trump wants on U.S. soil. Also, I think what we've been talking about throughout this hour is that, yes, there are some businesses that did benefit from the tariff policy because it did require, you know, as the supply chain became more expensive from China or other countries, maybe they did look to U.S. companies. He highlighted one such company in Georgia just yesterday. That being said, we know that there are many other businesses and industries that had no choice but just to pay the higher prices because their supply chain was still very dependent on international goods. And so I think that's the trade-off. And I think that's what, you know, there was always an oversimplification that we would hear from the president's office. Even the Larry King clip that you just showed, you know, he said, we're going to have tariffs and then we're going to bring down the cost of goods and we're going to help the poor. And it's always, he's seen a clearer through line that didn't always match the reality of the impact of a tariff policy.
Yeah, and it does. I mean, there's so many implications of this. We talked about the legal implications, the constitutional implications, the political implications. But the political implications are very much related to the question of the economics and affordability. Just a reminder, just yesterday, what the president said in Georgia about affordability.
I have to listen to the fake news talking about affordability. Do you notice what word have you not heard over the last 2 weeks? Affordability. Because I've won affordability.
I mean, the irony is maybe the Supreme Court helped him get to that point.
Well, yeah, maybe. I mean, and it's also not the press talking about affordability. It's voters who have said over and over that this is their top concern, that this is something that policymakers want to address. But in terms of this becoming a major political cudgel, remember earlier this month, there was that, procedural, dust up in the House that effectively allows House Democrats or even pro-trade Republicans to push through all of these, symbolic motions to disavow the president's tariffs. This is a vote that Speaker Johnson and his leadership team and the White House did not want, because it could be a rebuke every day, every week of different parts of the president's policy. Again, these are mostly symbolic, but this is going to show voters just how much of an opposition there is and how much antagonism there is to the president's tariff policy. It's something that Democrats definitely want to show and highlight this coming year.
And then in terms of affordability, right, if you look at some of the nuance behind some of these economic numbers, the economy is kind of solid, kind of strong. But what's revealing is this K-shaped economy, right? This economy whom those who are benefiting, whom the president relates to, right? Billionaires, et cetera. We're seeing a lot of spending at the top, not as much at the bottom. And that's where it's, to some men's point, where you're hearing some of the pain. Those are the people who are voting right now as well.
And also we talked about the president's going to pursue alternatives here. When it came to these tariffs, he invoked emergency authority. He just did it. For any of those alternatives we talked about, you will need investigations, reports as well. You need to justify the use. There's steps he's going to need to take. So this won't be an easy path moving forward.
Some are time limited too. They can only be for 150 days or whatever else.
We're going to sneak in a quick break again coming up. We are expected to hear from President Trump after this big rebuke by the Supreme Court, including 2 justices who he picked and the Senate confirmed. They struck down his sweeping tariffs. More on the fallout and more on what this majority opinion says. Paula's going to give us more of that when we come back.
How good a knight are you, Sir Duncan the Tall?
A knight defends the innocent. Who will stand and fight with me?
you buy a house, you're buying the neighbors.
It looks like an Osama bin Laden compound in Pakistan.
There is 6 to 8 chickens, 10 to 15 chicken, 20 chicken.
Oh, cat poop on the meat.
Don't talk to my child that way.
You will not talk over me.
Back off! My attorney will bury you.
In the middle of a street.
I demand a lot of my body. I'm a singer, I'm a dancer, I'm an actor. Morning! And I know if I want a lot out of my body and out of my mind, my energy, I have to put the right things into my body. Oh, it's good.
February 24th.
America is back.
President Trump's first State of the Union address of his second term comes in the wake of the killings in Minneapolis, and as many Americans continue to feel economic pain. With the midterm elections only months away, can the president turn around his political fortunes and put his party on a path to victory?
We are just getting started.
Join CNN for in-depth coverage and analysis from the best political team on any screen. The State of the Union, Tuesday, February 24th at 8 Eastern on CNN, or watch on the CNN app.
Weeknights on CNN.
Tonight on 360.
The stories that matter.
This whole area is just engulfed in flames.
From a trusted voice, Anderson Cooper 360. Weeknights at 8 on CNN.
Explore CNN podcasts for your daily dose of news, culture, and smart storytelling. And discover the conversations shaping our world. Follow and listen to CNN podcasts wherever you get your podcasts.
Howdy, everybody. Look who we got on campus.
We should hang out more, Matthew.
Hey, come on, man.
We're doing it.
I've never seen anything I've done twice.
You seen Interstellar once? No way, man.
A CNN and Variety Town Hall event, Saturday at 7 on CNN and on the CNN app. Pamela Brown explores the rise of Christian nationalism and its growing political influence.
I think that Christian nationalism is going to reshape democracy.
The whole story with Anderson Cooper, Sunday at 8 on CNN and next day on the CNN app.
It was the worst nuclear disaster in history.
Over the course of the last 40 years, I've never had an opportunity to speak about this in public before.
The KGB classified the real reasons for the causes of the Chernobyl accident.
There was the first people to witness what had happened.
The Chernobyl story is arguably more relevant than ever.
Disaster, the Chernobyl meltdown, March 1st on CNN and next day on the CNN app.
Grief isn't talked about much, but that's what my podcast is all about. Join me and my guests for a new season with new conversations about loss, life, and love.
All There Is with Anderson Cooper. Listen at CNN.com/allthereis.
You might be standing on the verge of something great.
You feel good?
I'm tipping you off on a huge story.
We're undeceived.
You can't construct a universe where nothing's real.
I've seen the headline.
This world will own you if you don't harden up.
In these troubling times, the world desperately needs a hero. Unfortunately, we've got him.
What to do when country go, ah!
Last week tonight with John Oliver.
Life on the Mars farm, it's anything but quiet.
Every day is a lot of moving parts.
Especially with a renovation business that never stops.
There's no going back now.
Oh my God! Yes. Fixer to Fabulous, all new Tuesday night at 8 on HGTV.
Welcome back, and we are back with our panel. Paula, you have gone through the majority opinion and a lot of the dissenting opinions. Just more of your takeaway on, actually, before you do that, I want to read one thing from Gorsuch, Neil Gorsuch, who is another one of the Trump appointees who voted against what the president wanted. And here's what he said. He said, yes, legislating can be hard and take time, and yes, it can be tempting to bypass Congress when some pressing problem arises, but the deliberative nature of the legislative process was the whole point of its design. Through that process, the nation can tap the combined wisdom of the people's elected representatives, not just that of one faction or man. That, to me, as I bring you in to talk about, the other takeaways, is so amazing, actually, because it's so simple and so basic and so antithetical to the way President Trump sees his role as the chief executive of this country.
And of course, the messenger is a justice you've appointed, and this
Exactly.
is not what the president wants to hear. Now, Justice Gorsuch doesn't get a lot of limelight. He's usually not at the center of really any controversies, but it'll be interesting to see if he's called out by name here, because one of the things that President Trump is most proud of is the fact that he made this a conservative 6-3 majority court. And this really is the first time that they have pushed back, particularly on a big case in his second term, but also